The Earth and its movements. The Earth is the third planet from the Sun. And it has a unique characteristic that no other planet we know has. It's the only one that has life on it. Life of all types, plants, animals. Its average temperature is 15 degrees Celsius, and because our planet also has water and an atmosphere, it is the perfect place for life. Like other planets of the solar system, the Earth moves in two different ways. One is called rotation, and the other is called revolution. Rotation is the movement of the Earth on its own axis. Rotate means to turn, so the Earth turns around a slightly inclined imaginary line that joins the two poles called the axis. Do you know how long it takes to make a complete turn? It takes 24 hours to make one rotation. Think about it for a second. One day and night together, lasts 24 hours too. So the movement of rotation causes day and night. Interesting, right? Now let's see the movement of revolution. As you can see in the pictures, the Earth goes around the Sun in an elliptical orbit. That might sound a little strange, but if you look, you'll see it's simply the journey that the Earth makes around the Sun. Do you know how long it takes the Earth to make a complete revolution around the Sun? Well, it takes 365 days. Exactly 1 year. This revolution movement is what makes the spring with its colourful flowers. The hot summer full of fun. The autumn when leaves fall from the trees to the ground. And the cold and frosty winter. So let's remember the two kinds of movement that the Earth makes. There is rotation, which is the Earth turning around itself, causing day and night, which lasts exactly 24 hours, the same as a whole day. And there is revolution, which is the Earth travelling around the Sun, which takes 365 days and causes the seasons. So now you know the movements of the Earth. Goodbye everyone, and don't forget to subscribe to Happy Learning.
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.
Hey happy friends! Have a look at these images. It's our planet. The Earth going round the Sun. All the planets in the solar system do this. And this movement is called the rotational movement. And it is on Earth where the rotational movement causes the 4 seasons. Do you know exactly how long it takes the Earth to do a single rotation around the Sun? Exactly. It takes 365 days and 6 hours, which is the same as 1 year. There are 12 months and 4 seasons in a year. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Each season has a different climate and lasts 3 months. In the spring, the good weather begins. There are rainy days and sunny days. The fields are full of flowers and life. And many animals take advantage of the good weather to have little babies. like these tiny cubs. Summer is the warmest season of the year, and the days are longer than the nights. As it is hot in summer, we have holidays, which we make the most of by having a wonderful time on the beach, in the countryside, or wherever it may be. In autumn, the cold weather begins. The leaves on the trees change colour, from green to yellow or red. After, they begin to fall from the trees, and they turn the ground into a carpet of leaves. Winter comes after autumn, and it's the coldest season of the year. In winter, the nights are longer than the days, and in many places, nature is full of snow. Many people love winter because it's when they can go skiing or make snowmen. Now, let's review. 1 year lasts 365 days and 6 hours, which is how long it will take the Earth to do one rotation of the Sun. During a year, there are 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Each season lasts approximately 3 months, and each one of them has a different climate. And I almost forgot. The movement that the Earth does around the Sun is called the rotational movement. Bye, happy friends!
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.
Hello, happy friends! Today, we're going to learn why the day and the night exist. Have a look at these images. It's the Earth, our planet. As you can see, it never stops. It's always spinning. We call this movement the rotation movement, because, as the name indicates, it is always rotating, meaning it is always spinning. Do you know how long it takes the Earth to do one rotation? Exactly. It takes approximately 24 hours. It takes 1 day, because you all know that 1 day lasts 24 hours. And now, if we move away from the Earth, we also see the Sun. Do you know why the nights and days exist? Think about it. Of course! I'm sure you've guessed it already. As the Earth turns, only a part of its surface is illuminated by the Sun. In this part, it is daytime, whilst the other part, which is in darkness, it is nighttime. So, whilst one part of the world is awake because it is daytime, and because there is light,
Hey!
the other part is asleep because it's nighttime, because it is in darkness. I love the day and the night.
During the day, I take the opportunity to learn many things and do sports. And during the night, I take the opportunity to rest and sleep comfortably. We've already got to know why the day and the night exist. So now, let's review. The Earth is always turning, and it takes 24 hours to do a complete turn. In the part that is illuminated by the sun, it is daytime, and in the other part, it is nighttime. Oh, and I almost forgot, you also have to remember that the movement that the Earth does is called the rotation movement. And it is this that produces the days and the nights. Bye, happy friends. Good day.
Hey!
Or good night.
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.
Hello friends! Welcome to a new Happy Learning video. Do you know that although the Earth is a sphere, very different things happen at the top and bottom of it? Well, let's find out some more, because today we're going to learn about the equator and the hemispheres. The equator is an imaginary line that divides the Earth horizontally, right down the middle, as if we were splitting it in two. Everything from the equator upwards is in the northern hemisphere, and its furthest point is the North Pole, where these polar bears live. Everything down on the other side is the southern hemisphere, which goes all the way down to the South Pole, and that's where these penguins live. The northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere are exactly the same size, but they have many differences. Above all, the most eye-catching thing is that when it's summer in the northern hemisphere, it's winter in the southern hemisphere. Do you know why this is the case? It's very easy. Check this out. If we observe the Earth, we realize that its axis, the imaginary vertical line that crosses from pole to pole, is not straight, it's tilted. That means that when the Earth revolves around the Sun, there is a part that is closer to it and warmer. And that's why it's summer there. In this case, the northern hemisphere. Meanwhile, the other half, the southern hemisphere, is colder. So there, it's winter. And when the Earth rotates and reaches the other side, it's the other way around. That explains that while it's warm in Argentina and its people cool off in the river or in the sea, in Spain it's cold and there are children making snowmen. Another important difference we can observe is that most of the continents are in the northern hemisphere. Do you see Europe, North America, almost all of Asia, a good part of Africa, and a little bit of South America are in the northern hemisphere, and therefore we can say that many more people live in the northern hemisphere. The southern hemisphere is emptier. It contains Antarctica, southern Asia, a bit of Africa, Oceania, most of South America, and lots of water. But there are more surprising, super fun things that make the two hemispheres different. For example, the moon. When the moon is in its crescent phase in the northern hemisphere, it can be seen shaped like a D. While in the southern hemisphere,
It's shaped like a C. It's more or less in reverse. If we think about it, it's logical, really. The Coriolis force is another extremely curious phenomenon. Isn't it such a strange word? The Coriolis force is a physical phenomenon that, due to the Earth's rotational movement, makes whirlpools. Those that are produced in rivers rotate in reverse in the different hemispheres. In the northern hemisphere, they always turn to the right, and in the southern hemisphere, they always turn to the left. Curious, isn't it? You can check this by doing an experiment. If you fill a sink with water and remove the plug, observe which way the swell forms when the water goes down the drain. That way, you will be able to tell which hemisphere you live in. It's always good to check that everything they tell us is true, don't you think? Goodbye, friends. See you in the next video.
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.
Hello, friends. Welcome to a new Happy Learning video. Quick question, do you like to travel? And if so, where would you like to go? How about going to Brazil? But do you know where Brazil is? Brazil is here. It's so big, and look how much water surrounds it. No wonder it has such wonderful beaches. And is it far away? Well, it depends on where we are. Mexico, for example, is closer to Brazil than Russia. Makes sense, right? Of course it does. And all thanks to this fantastic globe. If we didn't have a globe to understand where Brazil is located on our planet, we would have to put on an astronaut suit and go into space. The globe is a sphere, an exact representation of the Earth, but in miniature form. It allows us to locate absolutely all the continents, islands, and oceans in their corresponding places. Incidentally, the oceans are always painted blue. The globe also allows us to divide the Earth into two halves, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Where would you place Brazil? Very good. A small part in the northern hemisphere and a larger part in the southern hemisphere. We call the imaginary line that we draw to divide the Earth into two halves the equator. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The equator line also allows us to locate the poles. The North Pole is at the top, and the South Pole is at the bottom. Easy, isn't it? In addition to the equator, we also have another imaginary line, one that joins the Northern Hemisphere with the Southern Hemisphere, passing through the center of the planet. It's as if we were going through an orange with a stick from top to bottom. This line is called the axis of rotation. The Earth rotates around this imaginary line, which causes the day and the night. And did you know that it is slightly tilted? Interesting, right? The globe is like holding the world in our hands. But the truth is, for some things, it's not very practical. For example, it doesn't allow us to see all the places on Earth at once, and neither is it very practical to take on a trip either. It takes up a lot of space. It's for this reason we have the planisphere. The planisphere is another way of representing our planet. It's a map of the entire surface of the Earth and allows us to see the continents and the oceans, but on a flat surface. On a planisphere, we can also see the equator, the poles, and also the parallels and meridians, which are the lines into which the Earth is divided to help us calculate distances. So we can get a clearer idea of the distance between Brazil and Russia, or between Spain and Mexico, just by taking a quick look at it. What's more, the planispheres can be folded up, so they take up very little space and fit perfectly into a suitcase when we go on a trip. But if we only had the planisphere, we would think that the Earth is flat, and we know it's not. In other words, the globe and the planisphere are very important. They represent exactly the same thing, but just in different ways. And now, shall we go to Brazil? Or should we try and find Japan on the map and then decide where to go? Bye friends, see you in the next video.
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.